With all the pressure that's mounting around us, particularly during the pandemic, how do we build a culture of resilience? September is Suicide Awareness Month, but it should actually be on our radar all year round. 29 phenomenal women from around the globe have shown resilience in the face of various trials and challenges. And one such amazingly phenomenal woman is our special guest today, Forbes Riley. We will be talking about her chapter in the book, Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore by Lynda Sunshine West. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You have a story that is unique, a story that needs to be heard, a story that people care about. So it can get them to stand up for what they believe in. It can inspire them to change. It can inspire them to take action. It can inspire them to care. Care enough to be the light to someone's darkness. Care enough to extend a helping hand to someone who's down and out. Care enough to call things the way they are and see them for what they could be. Your story can make a difference. Your story can save a life. Your story matters. One story changed the entire world. Your story could do the same. All you've got to do is own your story.
If you're just joining us, then welcome to Books with Bridgetti. I'm your host, Bridgetti Lynda from Cape Town in South Africa, and our live stream is made possible by StreamYard and BeLive Media, helping you make meaningful connections. A warm welcome to you, our viewers. This is an audience-centric show, so wherever you are watching us, please feel free to just say hello, comment. If it's your first time, let us know you're new and we'll give you a shout out. In today's show, we're going to be talking to the one and only amazing Forbes Riley. She's one of the most celebrated TV hosts of all time. As the Queen of Pitch, Forbes grossed over $2.5 billion in product sales and is currently on a mission to inspire and motivate entrepreneurs to level up their communication skills, both to themselves and out to the world. And so with that, let's give a warm welcome to Forbes Riley.
Wow, I love your introduction. How professional. That sounds, I feel like I'm on a beautiful show here.
Forbes, welcome.
Hello,
so great to have you join me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, when I heard that you were in Lynda's book, Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore, I thought, wait, what? Come on. This is not possible. How could you possibly have felt invisible at any point in your time? You lead such a very public life. You're always out there. So how did you get to this point of feeling invisible at one point in your life and your journey to where you are now?
I guess you can't believe everything that you read and see. Would that be a fair statement? Just because a person looks a certain way on the outside, I think it's why we have so many suicides. I think it's why we have so many people feeling bad about themselves, because the models on the cover of the magazine are not that perfect. Their skin is not that amazing. There's things called Photoshop and tweaking and all kind of things that make people, we don't show our dirty laundry in public. Although 2021 for me has been about being real, raw, and authentic. And so revealing some of this, the purpose behind it was to show everybody that times get tough, but that tough people survive. And better than just showing how glossy it is in the 1980s when I was growing up, like Dynasty in Dallas and everything was just so perfect. Showing the real people behind this, I think, is the most important gift that we can leave to everybody and anybody. And I'm always a fan of overcoming obstacles. In fact, one of my mottos is that you are the sum of the obstacles you overcome. So if my life was real easy, I wouldn't be here. And it's been anything but easy. Thank you. Thank you.
And I've, like I do with all my guests, And I must be honest, I remember you from the QVC days, and I really looked at your spin gym, and I thought, it's one of those gimmicky things. But having to get to know a little bit about you more as a person.
Have you ever tried a spin gym?
I haven't, but now that I've gotten to know you just a little bit better, I'm like, I have to go get that thing.
Let me show you something about what people don't know, and what I'm very tired of people thinking that they know. I'm in the National Fitness Hall of Fame, and I am engaged to a man who's a 3-time world champion fitness competitor who loves this thing. Now, would you take the word of somebody in our position to at least try it? And that's where I get very upset with people, because they just believe the first thing they see. Yes, this looks like nothing, which I love. My phone looks like nothing either, but it's got more power in it than they had the computers to go to the moon. So looks can be deceiving, but I will tell you what, when you put this little thing in your hands and you realize that the thing spins at 125,000 RPM, and that I have a body because of this, and that dozens of my students have lost over 100 pounds, my advice is try it for yourself. And so
I watched that show that you did. I think it was in February this year. It was celebrating 10 years, I think it was. And one of your co-hosts on the show, she's 70 or 71. Yep. And I looked at her arms, and I was looking at your body and her arms, and I thought, oh my goodness, I am completely sold. I'm completely sold, like in 100%, because I live with chronic pain and backache and all kinds of stuff in my life. And I particularly read that you said it's safe to use for anyone, even people in wheelchairs. So I really, really like that. And so I'm dying to actually now get my hands on a fit gym.
Well, do me a favor, take out the word dying, because I've recently lost a lot of friends. You're not dying to do anything. And I do have a beautiful video of a 71-year-old in a hospital bed who had an 8-hour back surgery who's like, this is amazing. And so sometimes you just need to trust. And that is what's going on here. But, back to the idea of being invisible. I grew up as an ugly little girl. I had a broken nose and frizzy hair, and I had braces for 8 years of my life. I'm a true talk like this because I had a thing in my mouth. And I was very unsocial. I'm still pretty unsocial, which is fascinating, right? But I overcame a lot of these obstacles because I had a dream and a vision of who I wanted to be in this life and how important I wanted my life to be. I wanted to matter. And for a long time, girlfriend, I didn't matter to anybody. Nobody cared. I was working as an actress. I was working as a TV host. I would audition. I'd get almost everything I ever went out for. I helped start the X Games. I've done 2 national talk shows on television. I've done countless movies and TV episodes, and I've lived an amazing life. And I never thought to share any of it. Because at one point, before Facebook came out, I don't know how many birthday cards you would get before Facebook came out, like 1 or 2 if your mom, dad was still alive or your sisters cared about you. But usually nobody knew. All of a sudden, Facebook came out, and I thought, oh, wow, I just got like 300 birthday wishes. Maybe people do know who I am. Or people are like, hey, how are you twins? I'm like, how do you know my kids? They're like, you talk about them all the time on television. And I hadn't really thought about the impact that my life might have made, even though I didn't realize it. And then I decided to take that one step further and say, look, if you really want to matter, teach what you know, elevate people to a higher level, and give more than you get. And I will tell you, that actually resulted in me getting more than I would ever imagine. The last couple of years have been phenomenal. I'm very much in love with the most beautiful man on the planet. I have 2 healthy, knock on wood, 18-year-old twins that I worked very, very hard to raise as a single mom. And it's been an interesting journey. And now I'm here to talk about it, celebrate it, share it, and enjoy the time I have left on this planet.
Wow. I mean, all I can say is, and you're spot on, people don't know what they don't know about you, and looks are deceiving. And it always looks like, everybody leads a glamorous life, but underneath all of that, we still have got kids to raise, a house to clean, grocery shopping to do. It's all the normal stuff that's going on behind the scenes that people don't consider, because all they see is the glitz and glamour. And what I've liked, what I've seen about you, is that you go live without a stitch of makeup on. It's like, girlfriend,
sometimes I do.
You're the real deal. So
why not? Why not be that? Although I do want to see if I can actually call in my fiance, because I do want to show you something. So it's kind of interesting to live a life that you design. I will tell you, I do all those things. Sometimes I jump on without makeup because this is the reason, my beautiful girl, that men are more popular and more famous than a lot of women. You can name it Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Lewis Howes, Tai Lopez, Deepak Chopra. And I've been saying for years on stage, I said, there's not enough women. And now I'm actually on tour with all of those men. But I got to tell you, they don't have to put on makeup. It's an hour to do this and blow dry the hair and pick out the clothes and do the nails. Men are doing none of that. They have 400 hours a year more than all of us. And I'll tell you what, if they're bald, man, they should be super rich because they don't have to blow dry their hair. Think about it.
And they don't care. They don't care.
I don't know if they don't care or not. I think a lot of men do care, but they don't have to do all of this. You know, between the eyelashes and the lipstick and the teeth, it's overwhelming. And I will tell you the platform that I fell in love with that saved my life in January of this year was Clubhouse. I don't have to put a stitch of makeup on and I can do it completely naked. And I actually really like that. Not that I like running around naked, but it's not so bad. But I got a chance to express everything in my heart. And I realized that the barrier really is, I always walk into a room, oh, Forbes, you look great. Really, that's all we've ever cared about, how I look. Oh, you know, you've got a very pretty face, but you're overweight most of my life. I would like to say screw you to so many of those people who just saw the shallowness of what a woman is about. And I'm tired of it. I really am tired. I'm tired of that women aren't even game show hosts. You know, on Wheel of Fortune, the pretty girl is the one turning the letters in a gown. The pretty girl's the one at Price is Right going, here's the prize. They're not making the big bucks. I just saw the NBA stats. There's a woman who's an MVP player, female basketball player, and it was LeBron James. Same amount of championships, same amount of wins. His salary is hundreds of millions. Hers is hundreds of thousands. What's the deal?
Yeah, absolutely. Forbes, I want to just ask you a little bit about, you know, you are now a very well-known, celebrated, famous person, but you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
You know what? And I'm glad that I wasn't, because I've met a lot of those people. You'll never hear from them because they have no desire to give back and they're not quite sure what their purpose is in life. And I will tell you, if you've not overcome struggles and gone down a journey, you haven't lived a life worth living. And maybe it's a journey just to discover your own self-identity. But I was born to two beautiful, amazing, loving parents. And I will tell you, that means that I won. I won the genetic lottery. I have all my fingers and toes, and I'm smart enough to have graduated college with 2 degrees in 3 years. Again, we talk about winning the lottery. That is the lottery. I was born in America as a free white woman. Okay, yay, okay. There's all kind of reasons that I can celebrate. But I had a broken nose when I was 8 years old. I had frizzy hair, like I look like a triangle from the back. I had really weird jaw, so I had braces for 8 years, and I had a tongue crusher for 2 years of my life. I couldn't talk, which made a very strange little girl, very antisocial. And all I did when I was little was I would watch TV and movies and dream about being James Bond or the Man from U.N.C.L.E. or some super spy. And I set out on a journey with my life, truly. At the age of 20, I graduated college with a ticket to Europe for $20 a day. I'd read that you could live there. I'd auditioned for the very first movie, and I landed the lead in my very first movie. How crazy is that? Called Splatter University. And it never became, it's still out there. People seem to love it. But that was challenging because back then there was no Me Too movement. And I was up against a lot of obstacles. So I did a lot of movies, but never got to the level that I could have. And I avoided I just wouldn't sleep with anybody that I wasn't in love with. And that seemed to be a bad thing back then. How strange. But I had morals and integrity. But I still wanted to live this amazing life. And I did. And I will tell the stories because they're fantastic stories of traveling around the world, working for Club Meds, literally speaking 5 and 6 different languages and scuba diving around the world and doing it on no money at all, just sheer talent. And then when I came home, I said to myself, I want to ski. And I've never skied before. I got a job at a ski resort doing stand-up comedy, but not one resort, all around the country. And then that turned into the X Games for ESPN. And I look back and going, wow, girl, how did you do all that? And I did it because I had no choice. What kind of skills did I have after college? I had a poli-sci degree, unless I was going to become a lawyer, which I thought was pretty silly. I just wanted to enjoy this gift that we have. And I fell in love a bunch of times. I married only one person. I'm now not married to him because I raised a little boy with him who was murdered. I've been through tremendous tragedy. I've had 3 friends, close family, intimate friends, murdered by guns. 1 in Africa, 2 in LA. And then my fiance and I were the eyewitnesses on our iPhone. To the October 1st shooting, which is now will be 4 years. That changes your life. So I have a vision that I am being used at the moment as a conduit for truth, for integrity, to be a voice of reason. I've lived enough right now to answer any question that you have about life and death and what it's like to lose and what it's like to win. Winning's better, by the way. But I do think the most important thing that you can do right now is to find ways to love yourself, take extremely good care of your body, as you discovered by the pain that you're in. If you don't exercise it and move it and feed it right and wash it and take good care of it, it poops out. My best friend is 95 years old. She was married to Jack LaLanne for 50 years. Jack was the fitness god of all time. Arnold Schwarzenegger credits him with the reason that he has a career. And I get to hang out with his wife at 95. In her 60s, she was the fittest chick you'd ever seen. So she is my role model. And if I can be that for other women and maybe some men, maybe my whole life on this planet matters.
That is amazing. But I want to just get back to resilience. The book is full of stories of women showing resilience. You lost your son. You lost your dad.
Okay. I should say it's not my tech. I have to be very clear. Dexter was my foster kid. We helped raise him, part of the big brother, little brother. He was not my biological son, and I want to make that very clear because I don't know if I would have recovered from it being a biological son. I have barely recovered this way, but I have just hosted an event yesterday with women who've lost kids, sometimes their only kid, and I don't know how they keep going. It's kind of interesting. So I know how hard it was for 3 years for us. That we helped raise Dexter. He had a mom, but we took care of him every weekend. He was the best man at my wedding, and I loved Dexter right out so much. And it was so sad. He was walking from a haircut to church on a Sunday morning, and a kid who wanted to get into a gang just shot him 10 times in the back and left my little boy dead on the sidewalk. The worst part of that is going through a real murder trial. You haven't lived until you hear details about your loved one's brains on the sidewalk. And I will tell you, all of this has changed me. All of this has made me a very unique person, of which I know you guys never go through this. Resilience is being able to get out of bed some days when there's just no point. Resilience is finding reasons to live every morning, finding reasons to smile and be happy, because you're on this side of the dirt. I honestly, people say, well, you've reinvented yourself. I'm like, yes, I have. I've had to. I couldn't be here if I didn't. And I love the path that I'm on now. And I love that I still have energy to pursue it. And I appreciate you holding space for this and Lynda writing a book, because I said to Lynda, I said, some days I'm invisible and invincible all in the same hour. You know, it's funny. I'm a fragile little girl who still likes to be accepted and loved and doesn't enjoy rejection, doesn't enjoy people hating on her. But as a strong, powerful alpha female, as I've been called, I will tell you, people take shots at you because they think it can't hurt her. When I met my ex-husband, he's 6'6". He's a Notre Dame football player. I think I was joking around and I punched him once and he punched me back. And I'm like, oh my God, why did you do that? He said, don't punch me. Just because I'm a big guy, I hurt too. And I thought, wow, just because I'm a strong, successful female, I hurt too. Don't punch me.
I really like that. And Lynda's just saying over on Amazon, she says, your heart is so open. Thank you for sharing your story and your gifts. And I resonate with a lot of what you say, Forbes. I live with chronic pain. And I mean, my pain sometimes, and people don't see that. People minimize my pain, or they, think it's in my head. But I mean, I have been in so much pain at times that I didn't want to live. I've blacked out from pain more times than I care to remember. People don't see me crawling on the floor in pain, so they judge me. So I get how people look at the external and they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And so I take my hat off to someone like you, who's a lot more in the public eye than I am, And I get that people can judge you for things they know nothing about. So I take my hat off to you for that. But I take my hat off to you for being so open and transparent on social media. And I think a lot of people can take a lesson from you on that, because life, I love that life has gotten a lot more real with the pandemic. I think a lot of people have taken off that veil that they carried along for so long. I personally wish we don't ever go back to life as it was prior to the pandemic. I really like people.
Well, wait, careful what you wish for. But we will never go back anyway. You always go forward. And so whatever that looks like, I'm hoping there's lessons learned that we have gleaned from this. It has been probably one of the most unique times in history. And I wouldn't have missed it for anything.
If there's one thing that you would still like to, is there anything that you still would like to do that you haven't done?
Oh my God, 150,000 things. Are you kidding me? Number one, I would like to be sitting with Oprah on Sunday at her house and have her celebrate my best-selling books and the 1 million people whose lives I've impacted, and telling me, oh my God, Forbes, I love your spin gym. Spin gym needs to become a household word. My fiance in 3 weeks needs to win Mr. Olympia. I need to see my grandkids. My kids are only 18, so I got a ways to go. I have a national talk show I haven't done. I've got a TV series I'm working on and a new movie and a couple of books, and that's just the beginning. So yeah, I'm a little busy. I'm not done yet.
Oh my goodness. Well, I've got one that I'm super excited about. I should become a grandmother officially in about 2 weeks time from now. So I kind of can't wait.
That is such a blessing. I can wait. I can wait at least 7 or 8 years. Both my kids are 18 and they run their own company, and I am in love with them. Hey guys, I do need to jump off. I have a 12 o'clock. Maybe it's 12:15. I think I have a couple more minutes. 12:15 to, yeah, I'm a speaker on something else, which I love. I love when people invite me to speak. I love what I have to share. My coach has been Les Brown since the day that I met him. I teach him how to pitch, and he teaches me how to be a better speaker, because as the greatest motivational speaker on his side, he's like, Forbes, the slot is wide open as a woman for you if you're willing to step up and do the work. I love that. I also have a free gift for you. I have a free gift for you and your listeners. Every Sunday since the beginning of the pandemic, I teach a 2-hour class. I do charge for it, but I won't charge your audience. If you go to www.askforbesriley.com, it's completely free. It is 2 hours of my time that I spend with people talking about their pitches. I've grossed a little over $2.5 billion in my career selling things right through a camera lens, whether it's home shopping, whether it is on television and infomercials. I hosted 194 of them. Guys, I have lessons to teach. I have things that you don't have any idea. If you learn some of these nuggets, the littlest nuggets can make the hugest difference in your communication, in your clarity, and ultimately in your confidence. Because like the book says, when you feel invisible, it shows. When you have a sense of confidence, which comes from baby steps of winning, nobody builds a pyramid overnight. They lug a lot. First of all, they dig, a nice foundation, and then they have a lot of bricks, and it takes time. If you understand how to do it, I also have a training with my daughter that I'm doing called GSD. My 18-year-old created a training called Get Shit Done. And you know what?
Nice.
If finishing is happiness, getting your stuff done is really the road to it. And so I'm very proud of all that we're doing. We work very, very hard to help other people. And I think we're doing a pretty good job.
I think so too. I mean, with your 2 teenagers running their own businesses so successfully, you've given them the tools for life. Not many children have the opportunity to grow up with this kind of entrepreneurial spirit and resilience that you have taught them. So well done, Mom.
I love you. I love you. Well, back at you for that. And I'll tell you what, especially in the face of pain, I know how debilitating that can be. My fiance was hit by a car. He was hit by a car on a motorcycle last year, lost all of his muscle tone, sat in a wheelchair for 6 months. My beautiful girl, in 3 weeks, he's going for Mr. Olympia. He has rebuilt his body. I have watched him show up every day in pain. His ankle got shattered. He still walks with a cane, but he has such a vision and a mission in life that he's also not giving up. And so God bless us that we get to be role models, because we need this. I need them. You need them. We all do. We need heroes. We need people who are paving a way, because if you're listening to this, life has gotten a little harder. People are a little angry. They're short with each other. Their customer service doesn't exist. It's a little bit of a challenging time. And I would ask you all to reach inside and just remember one thing, and I think it's the golden rule. Treat others as you would have them treat you. Stop being so mean to people. I don't care what color your skin is, what sex you are, how old you are. We all the same. We come here by ourselves. We will leave by ourselves. And in between, let's just do the very best job that we can.
That is a phenomenal message to end with. Forbes, I am eternally grateful for your time. Thank you so much. And I hope that I haven't made you late for your next appointment. And thank you also for the gift to everyone who's watching. Go to askforbesriley.com to claim your free gift. Forbes, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
You have a beautiful heart. And if there's anything I can ever talk to you about in terms of pain management, let me know. I have all kinds of secret remedies thanks to Joshua's accident. And I wish you a beautiful, wonderful life. You are a very special lady.
Thank you, Forbes. Take care.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Stay well and stay safe, and goodbye for now. Almost 3 billion people and counting are consuming video content on their devices. BeLive Media helps brands position their products and services to people at a time and manner that's convenient to them. If you would like to reach your customers and clients and stay ahead of your competitors, then connect with us.